Dude.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't hook up the mic.
Yeah. What's up, you film nuts? My name's Jimmy, this is Jake, and welcome back, guys. We saw another movie tonight.
Yes,
What's
we
the
did.
movie, Jake? What's the movie?
American Assassin.
Assassin.
Very interesting.
All right, well, we'll start off right off the bat. Initial reactions. You go ahead, man.
Initial reactions. It was a decent movie. It was alright.
You know, and that kind of pretty much same thing for me. It was okay. It was your typical.
There was nothing earth-shattering about it, really.
It was your typical action film.
Yeah.
And it didn't shake things up too much. It had definitely some good components, which we'll definitely hit on, but it didn't shake things up really too much. But yeah.
There are plenty of better action films, and there are plenty of worse action films.
So it's kind of right in the middle.
Yeah.
So it's right in the middle.
As far as the cast choice, I thought the cast was alright. It was strong. The cast was strong.
Absolutely.
Not gonna lie.
Absolutely.
You had Dylan O'Brien, who is the kid from Maze Runner.
Good movie.
He did well in Maze Runner, and he did well in this movie, I think.
Absolutely.
He played his part. You have Michael Keaton, who's obviously he's popular for the late 80s and early 90s adaptations of Batman.
That's
he played
right.
Bruce Wayne in Batman.
That's right. Shout out Kent State alumni.
He is.
That's right. That's right, man. That's pretty cool.
We also had Cinna Lathan, who is Alexa Woods from AVP, Alien vs. Predators, if you guys remember her. She was the lead role in that movie. And then Taylor Kitsch, who I don't know him from this because I didn't watch the show, but he is Tim Riggins from Friday Night Lights.
Oh, okay. And he was also in that Disney
He's
movie.
in John Carter.
John Carter.
He's in John Carter.
That's
He played
right.
John
That's
Carter.
right. Sorry.
He was also in the movie Battleship. I don't know if you saw that.
Yes.
Yeah, he was in Battleship. He was the lead in Battleship too.
Cool. Awesome.
Yeah, so the cast was pretty strong. I thought that they did their job.
Yeah.
It's not like Emmy Award winning.
No, I wouldn't say Emmy Award winning, but they played their. It's not so much their fault, I would say, rather the characters themselves that are in
Which I will say this: Michael Keaton is a great actor. I'd say he's probably the strongest.
That's for sure.
Definitely the strongest.
Well, you know what? We're gonna go right into the plot for you guys real fast. So what's the movie about? Well. So basically, if you go to IMDb, what they say very little about the movie. And in fact, what they say is a story centered on counterterrorism agent Mitch Rapp. Which, if you guys read the book,
couldn't be more broad.
So this is actually a book series, which we just found out.
Which is the first. It has to be the first because
That's
when
right.
you meet that
That's
kid.
right.
Long story short, this kid broadly. Beginning of the movie starts out with.
There's a little bit of a tragedy in
Dylan
the beginning.
O'Brien's character. There's a tragedy. He wants to get back at the people who caused the tragedy.
CIA notices him training and whatnot.
And they recruit him, and one thing leads to another, and he becomes an assassin. That's as broad as you can get.
Without getting any spoilers.
Which, the title kind of says that.
That's right.
There's not a whole lot of interpretation difference in there.
That's right. And, I found it was very similar when you're looking at just kind of like a military action movie. You got your stereotypical, not to go really into the characters too much, or I guess we can jump right into the characters. But so you got your stereotypical kind of military veteran guy who takes the new guy underneath his wing, and the new guy, the Dylan O'Brien's character, he's kind of more of a, the hotshot kind of guy. He won't listen to the rules. So it's that same dynamic that you find with a lot of movies. So it wasn't offering really too much originality, I would say, in that aspect.
And it definitely was. The characters were very shallow. There was almost no emotional connection to any of the characters. Even the main character, Dylan O'Brien, you're kind of like, I hope he wins, but whatever happens, happens.
That's the trouble. You find yourself really not caring too much, and it's like it's important. It's important.
All the parts in between the action sequences were like, all right, can they shoot some more stuff? So
basically, what we're saying, definitely, this film needed a little bit better character development.
Definitely more character development. Definitely more backstory for certain members, for certain characters. Which we'll go into later when we get in the spoiler section, but
that's right.
Definitely the characters, specifically more of the I would say supporting characters, but even one of the main characters needed more background story.
When it came to really how the movie looked visually, it looked good. It was a beautiful movie to watch. Definitely really no complaints.
Yes.
Except there was some CGI problems that you might notice a little more towards the end.
Yeah.
I noticed that.
And this movie, as far as like the editing, and it's not so much editing and cinematography, but so much maybe the writing of the movie too, and the pace and dialogue, things seemed kind of choppy, and things went from 0
to 100 real quick. Is that what you're saying, pace wise?
Yes, but also things kind of teetered on the side of plausible to just like, no.
Yeah.
That doesn't happen.
Which is pretty common, I feel like, when you're looking at action movies nowadays, because everything needs to be bigger, better, more explosions.
Yeah. It just wasn't consistent with how unrealistic and versus how realistic they were trying to make it. You know, at some points they were almost like trying to be like, oh, this is more of a realistic thing that could happen, and then all of a sudden it was like, that's not at all what could happen ever. That's not how gravity works or physics. But
you know what? In the pace of the movie, it jumps you in real fast. After the initial incident, it really jumps you in real fast in the movie, and things just don't
not even
blend well.
Not even the initial point of contact you get with the beginning of the movie is just forced. It's forced. There's not a whole lot of emotion. They try to force some emotion on you, and you're kind of left like, yeah, that's sad, but that came out of nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
And they didn't give enough lead up to the moment of the tragedy for you to care enough that it happened. I mean,
that's the truth. You know what? I found myself thinking also the dialogue was a little bit cheesy. It was kind of a whole gung-ho kind of military thing. It felt a little bit at sometimes kind of a little propaganda military-ish, you know, one of those movies. But not
as bad as some movies. I mean, do you remember the movie Battle Los Angeles?
Yeah.
That was a 2-hour Marine Corps commercial.
That is true. But so it's something similar to that, but I think you guys will pick up on that. You'll pick up on that.
Yeah. Overall, rating-wise, this movie... 6.5, 7.
6.5, 7?
6.5, 7. I want to give it a 6 because... No, you know what? 7. 7. Hard 7. I would watch it again.
I got you.
I'd watch it again.
I got you. And for me, guys, I would say I'm going to give it a 6. It was just a little too generic for me of an action flick. You know, definitely I'd say a good date movie. You know what I mean? You bring a date, kind of like a date to it. It's just
except for my girlfriend hates action movies.
So
that would be the worst date movie.
Okay.
To see with her.
With that being said, guys, from here on out, spoiler alert.
So, yeah, we're going to go into some stuff we didn't like, some stuff we did like. So, at this point, if you're going to go see the movie, which we recommend you should, stop watching. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe.
Thank you for watching, guys.
All the normal YouTube plugs.
All right, everyone else now left.
Yeah, everyone else.
Let's talk about this movie.
Now that those losers are gone.
5 subscribers.
Yeah, the 5 people that watch.
Don't leave. Please don't leave.
Jimmy's sister and mom and his other sister. So basically, when the movie starts out, first problem, honestly, with the movie is you know what's going to happen. They literally opened up an action and adventure movie category book and was like, let's do this. This is literally what we should do. And it starts off, they open up, they're on a beach, he engages his girlfriend.
A beautiful beginning. It was touching. I liked it.
But it didn't really draw me in that much. You know, she was really hot, don't get me wrong. Always a plus to have the hot girl in the movie. But you know something bad's going to happen because it's just generic action movie stuff. So then he goes in and he goes to get a drink, and then these random gunmen, which there's no backstory to why they're there at all, start just killing everyone on the beach with assault rifles.
So, I don't know if you guys had a problem with this, but the one thing I was telling to Jake is, it seemed like, at least how they filmed it, the gunman was going around shooting, and people, the extras, were just like semi-jogging away from these guys.
Yeah, that was...
You best believe if the gunman
really
opens
wasn't
up,
a whole lot of...
I'm hauling ass, you know?
mean,
I'm looking for loved ones after I get right on over the hill.
They call you a coward.
Well,
So...
I'm just saying.
And,
people need to move a lot faster. That's all.
But I will say this to their defense: the sequence where he does find her, she is dead. He starts getting shot, and the way they definitely did the camera pans and the close-ups, and I think that was very well done.
I think so.
But then they do the whole fast forward thing to where, like, 18 months later, and he's a little bit more muscular, and now he can fight and stuff.
I thought it was kind of cool how they showed him like talking to like the terrorist over some sort of maybe terrorist social media or something like that. That was kind of cool. I'm like
encrypted chat, but
well, like an encrypted chat kind of thing.
Yeah.
But I thought that was kind of different. Him having to know that kind of trivia. That was pretty cool.
But
That's probably
here's the
straight out of
thing.
the book.
But here's the thing. For me, that's just completely unbelievable. You're telling me that, so, his fiance gets murdered 18 months ago. And within 18 months, all of a sudden, he is an expert in MMA, an expert firearms guy, and all of a sudden is fluent in Arabic. And he has the connections to get in contact with a recruiter, let alone in contact with the person that he's trying to get in contact with, and they never explain how he even found out who did it. They just boom right up to it. Like there was no backstory to that, and then all of a sudden he's in Libya, he's in Tripoli, and he's just, it just doesn't make any sense to me. He definitely, so it just didn't make any sense to how he got the information that he had. And then the CIA all of a sudden decides that they like him.
Apparently the one lady was watching him, so I gotta imagine, just like any Harry Potter thing, you're missing a lot of information that was in the books, and they just had to skip over
it's
for
just
the
that
movie.
would never happen.
So,
like, don't get me wrong, I'm sure the CIA is watching you. Like, that's probable. The cameras in your house.
I can guarantee that, actually. I'm pretty sure.
That's probable.
You know what? I gotta say, I was also, I was definitely looking forward to Michael Keaton's character, because, I knew he was in that. I'm a big Michael Keaton fan. But his character, it kind of seemed like the generic, kind of hard-ass kind of guy, and
kind of a douche.
I mean, even by the end of it, you don't like him so much.
Yeah.
I didn't really like him. So, like, if that was his character, I mean, I guess he played it well. I just didn't really like it. Maybe in the book, the character's a little more nicer, or not even nicer. There's more charisma between the characters or something.
Yeah.
But
there
by
was
the end of it, I'm
absolutely no depth to these characters. And adding to your Michael Keaton thing, at the end there's this weird torture scene where he gets his fingernails pulled off.
Oh, yeah.
And he reacts like super...
Like a champ. Like a champ.
And that's just not possible. Like
he's used to it.
I got my thumbnail ripped off once, and I thought it was the end of the world.
Oh.
It hurt so bad. There's a reason why in Vietnam they would put bamboos, reeds underneath your fingernail. Because it's painful.
That was.
Like,
I don't know about you guys, but that was rough. That was hard to watch.
It was hard to watch, but there's no way that he reacted like that. That he was...
He's a real masochist. He likes that kind of stuff.
I don't think that's how that works. Anyways, but the last thing that I wanted to point out about the story that I would say bugged me the most out of everything was when you meet the antagonist of the story, which is Taylor Kitsch, his character. He looks like Dylan O'Brien he has the beard and hair. And in the beginning of the movie, so does Dylan O'Brien. So, and then he goes and does something, and you're like, oh wait, is that Dylan? Was that, like, who was that? Was that Dylan O'Brien's character? Or was that Taylor Kitsch? Yeah,
that's true.
because I asked him at the end, I was like, did you know? And he was like, no, I was confused. So that's very confusing. And they literally gave no backstory to this guy.
I mean, I would have liked to know at least a little more about Taylor's character.
Yeah.
I mean, because he seemed like a real badass. You know, apparently he was in the system, broke away from the system.
He was.
You don't end
up
learning too much.
Yeah,
about
he
him,
was the.
so.
He was Dylan O'Brien's character before Dylan O'Brien was that character. He was his prodigy or whatever, and then he fell from grace, and we don't know why or how or what his whole thing is. And they lead on later that he got tortured, he got captured and tortured or whatever, and that's why he hated Michael Keaton's character. But at the same time, that wasn't until the end of the movie, and he was just,
and let's talk about the end real fast. So, it's kind of like they saved the day by the nuke going, so this bothered me. The nuke went off underwater.
Yeah, this
and they
really
were like,
bother you.
and they're like, oh, thank God, we didn't lose any soldiers or anything. But just think about all the fish,
the
all the wildlife,
disaster,
everything.
They're off
all
the
ocean, all the ocean life,
coast of Italy.
And all the ocean life just getting destroyed. So it wasn't such a happy ending. I'm like, Jesus, think about this.
It really wasn't a happy end. I mean, it was like.
So it was a little rough, They tried to put a bow tie around it, but I'm like, I don't know about this one, guys. I'm not too sure about this one.
Regardless, that's what we didn't like about the movie. There were pros too, obviously.
Yeah, I was gonna say, want to go into the pros?
Yeah, I personally thought that the choreographed hand-to-hand combat was pretty good. There was, and I like that it was one of those movies where the good guys don't get their ass kicked. Like they're just fantastic. Like, Dylan O'Brien gets his ass kicked the entire movie.
That is true.
I mean, he usually comes out on top, but he still gets his ass handed to him quite a bit, which I liked a lot.
He's not untouchable. So
he's not untouchable.
That was cool.
And another thing is, I really liked when they were training, I thought it was cool. They brought the technology into it, the augmented reality technology. That was really cool. It was very interesting to see. You don't often see that. Obviously, augmented reality is becoming a lot more popular with cell phones and like headsets and stuff. But I know that was a really cool way to train because I know that there are training simulations similar to that in real life. So that wasn't too far fetched. I mean, what were your pros? I mean,
I would have to say definitely for my pros, guys. Action scenes were pretty cool. They were action scenes. If you like seeing things blow up and whatnot, I mean, they did a good job.
It's no Michael Bay film, but
they did a good job. They did a good job. So like Jake said, the training sequences were unique. They were a little different from really anything I ever saw with the augmented reality. It was just some funky stuff. So that was pretty cool. But let's see. Oh, and last but not least, so. Good acting on the most part. Dylan O'Brien's character, if he didn't hold it together, it would have been a real big downfall. But he actually did pretty good. He was pretty believable. Some of his, supposedly what his character, how we were talking about how he starts, all of a sudden this tragic accident, next thing you know, he's in CIA. That's not the most believable part, but he did a good job acting. He did. The scenes were good. They were believable. Yeah, so that's definitely important. That's my pros. That's my pros for the movie.
Some of it, sure. I do think that the fight scenes, they were believable.
Yeah, that's right.
They were believable. The fight scenes were believable.
Do you want to highlight the biggest cons? Biggest cons for you in the film?
The biggest cons for me are, it has to be the fact that the antagonist had no backstory. And the fact that they threw him into the mix and he looked exactly like Dylan O'Brien. And the fact that I had to be like, who is that? Which one is that? That's where they messed up. Because the fact that I even had to question that means something went wrong with the way that was all laid out. So, I mean, what was your biggest downfall? I mean,
So, my biggest thing was,
let me guess. At the end?
Go for it. Well, the end, but also, so like for number one, for
the boats. I meant the ships at the end. That was you.
The ships.
Was that you? Was that what was gonna go?
So
on?
that was I was gonna hit that, but not right away though. But the CGI, the ships.
Yeah.
That was pretty bad. That was pretty bad. It was just kind of a stereotypical kind of American military movie for me, and nothing really stuck out that was too different from that. So it wasn't very original, I thought. No. But hey, if you guys are fans of the books, let us know like how they're different and whatnot. Yeah. I mean, I would like to definitely read them because apparently they're good. They've been the New York Times bestseller for like every single book. I'm pretty sure is what I was reading.
What I kind of get, like I don't know anything about these books, so don't quote me on this, but I feel like that they're kind of Tom Clancy-ish. Which I did read.
I would imagine.
I've read like 7 or 8 of the Tom Clancy books, the Jack Ryan series. So those are very good, and I do recommend those. but this kind of seems like that might be in the same realm.
Mm-hmm. Very true. Very
Which,
true.
if that's the case, then I'm sure I would like them. Yeah.
So the other stuff. So as we're saying, story is shallow. It really lacks depth. So
That was the movie seemed very disingenuous. It didn't really. I mean, it held your attention because people were shooting stuff, people were fighting, blow up, blah blah. But at the same time, you didn't really have a lot invested into the actual story of the people.
Yeah, no,
Of
that's
the
the truth.
relationships with each other
That's
too.
truth.
I mean, when that girl died, you're like, well, that was pointless.
Which girl?
The one when she shoots herself in the tunnel.
Oh yeah,
That was like she was like,
I felt like they
I'm gonna
could've
shoot myself so you could get a good shot at him, and then like
and
he
then
just
they're
runs
so close.
away.
And
Yeah,
he missed.
yeah, that was just seemed.
He was so
very-
close.
It was just that was.
But that's
bad.
classic kind of action movies, suspense
Yeah.
stuff. But yeah. So guys, what I would say is, which if you've seen the movie, then you've already seen it. But I wouldn't if I know what I know now. I wouldn't have went to see the movie. But maybe
Really?
I would have waited. I would have waited till Netflix came around. Personally, that's mine. Would you still? So you said you'd see the movie again?
I would see it again. I don't know if I would pay the $11,
That's what,
To see
that's
it
what I'm
again?
saying. Yeah.
but I definitely think it's worth seeing the first time.
But so guys, that pretty much sums it up for us when it comes to American Assassin. So
Yeah.
we hope you guys enjoyed this. We hope this review helps you out at least a little bit.
Or at least starts a conversation about it. We'd love to hear your point of view on it.
That's right.
Leave
Fill
it
us
in the comments
comments
below.
Mhm. That's
And
right.
let
That's
us
right.
know how wrong we are or right.
That's
I mean, this is all subjective.
You guys
In
know
no
that.
way are we experts to objectively review a movie.
That's the truth. That's the truth.
But other than that,
We will see you
thanks for
guys
watching.
next time. Thanks for watching.
Yeah.